Welcome back to another episode of 40 Facts About the 40K Universe. I am your host, Gersh1, and today we're going to be talking about the Blood Angels as we get into the Red Thirst and the Black Rage. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. We post Warhammer 40K lore videos every single day. And if you have any suggestions, please comment down below. If you enjoy our content, thank our patrons on Patreon. It's because of them that we can do this. Link in the description if you guys want to support us. But with that said, let's get into 40 facts on the Black Rage and the Red Thirst. The Red Thirst is a terrifying genetic flaw found within the gene seed of the Primarch Sanguinius. It is a vampiric affliction that has plagued the Blood Angels and their successors since the days of the Great Crusade. The Ninth Legion was cursed with pale skin, elongated teeth, and a strange urge to drink the blood of their enemies. Worst of all was a deep and destructive need to cause as much bloody carnage on the field of battle. The sons of Sanguinius were taught to hold this battle fury at bay, training their minds, bodies, and spirits, but the longer the legionnaires spent in the thick of battle, the stronger the affliction became. Inevitably, after years and years of build-up, the first Blood Angel legionnaires succumbed fully to the Red Thirst, and allowed the genetic flaw to strip away their humanity, until only a feral core remained. These depraved space marines could only be satisfied by immersing themselves in the blood of their slain enemies. At this point, the Battle Brother was completely gone, and only death could save him from the curse. Fortunately, only a handful of Astartes had been afflicted over the course of 2 Terran centuries of continuous conflict. Most would perish in battle without anyone taking note of their growing insanity. But if their degeneration became noticeable, then Sanguinius himself, or the Sanguinary Guard's commander, would usually be the one to end the life of the afflicted Battle Brother. Yet in the closing days of the Great Crusade, the outbreaks of this affliction began to occur more and more often. Sanguinius feared that in time, this affliction would grow to encompass every member of his legion. Sanguinius knew of the Red Thirst for several years, keeping the truth from the Emperor and his fellow Primarchs. He could not speak of this to anyone, for to do so would be diminishing his legion in the eyes of his brothers and the Imperium. Some of his brother Primarchs would see this as a weakness and seek to turn the truth against him. Sanguinius was even afraid to tell his father, the Emperor, for he could not risk being the one responsible for the extermination of the Blood Angels from Imperial history, just like the 2nd and the 11th Legion. He was determined not to be a third empty plinth outside of the Imperial Palace on Terra. Sanguinius continued to search for a solution, but continued to fail in the endeavor. Some of the Angels' sons were fully aware of the extent of this affliction. They were united with Sanguinius in finding a way to repair the flaw, but ultimately their quest proved futile before the tragedies of the Horus Heresy swept away all of their concerns. As a result, from the day of their sanguination to their death on the battlefield, the Blood Angels and their successors fight not only the countless foes of the Imperium, but also a burning urge inside them. This is the Red Thirst, the legacy of their Primarch Sanguinius, that plagues many Blood Angels with visions of death. In battle, Blood Angels can harness these visions to evoke a ferociousness that gives the chapter its reputation for unparalleled brutal assaults. Sometimes, the Red Thirst is so overwhelming that the Blood Angels forget their noble heritage and completely lose controls over themselves. It is not unheard of for a Blood Angel squad to abandon a secure position to engage the enemies in hand-to-hand combat. More often than not, these assaults prove to be so devastating that unprepared enemy forces are simply swept away. There have also been terrifying incidences where the Blood Angels have been stationed on distant worlds, and members of the local population have gone missing, only to turn up later, completely drained of blood. It is possible that this is the work of cultists seeking to discredit the chapter. It may even be that some of the more superstitious local citizens have taken to offering up sacrifices to their godlike visitors. It may also be possible that these people were killed by the Blood Angels who are trying to satisfy the Red Thirst. Although the Red Thirst is the Blood Angels' darkest secret and greatest curse, it is also their great salvation, for it brings with it humility and an understanding of their own failings, which makes them truly the most noble of the Space Marines. The Red Thirst is one of the 2 genetic flaws found within the gene seed of the Blood Angels, and the other is known as the Black Rage. The Black Rage is a genetic flaw that creates mental instability in the Blood Angels, or one of their successor chapters. A Battle Brother is overcome with the memories and consciousness of Sanguinius. This intrusion mentally teleports the Astarte to the siege of Terra that had occurred 10,000 Terran years ago. He is lost and unable to distinguish past from reality to the point where his fellow Battle Brothers might be perceived as the enemy. Some Blood Angels afflicted with the Black Rage may believe they are Sanguinius, fighting in the bloody battles of the Horus Heresy, or they are the Legionnaires desperately trying to save their Primarch from death. The Black Rage can strike a son of Sanguinius prior to or during a battle. When this happens, the uncontrollable rage of Sanguinius himself charges the Battle Brothers with constant anger, hatred, and fury. They possess a small portion of the Primarch's unearthly powers, as their strength and vitality boost to levels that seem superhuman even to those of the Space Marines. The condition is largely irreversible, and only a few Blood Angels have managed to overcome the flaw. Rather than let them face a slow, insane death, the Blood Angels and their successors will form a special unit from those that have newly succumbed to the Black Rage. This special force is known as the Death Company. They wear specially painted black power armor with red crosses to symbolize the wounds of Sanguinius, and are often led by a few chapter officers, notably chaplains, who are able to communicate orders to the insane troops. They are then sent out to perform the most dangerous assaults, hoping for a quick and honorable death in combat. Those that survive are locked away in the Tower of Amaro, also called the Tower of the Lost, on the Blood Angels' homeworld of Bao, in the Fortress Monastery complex of the Arc Angelicum. And those were 40 facts on the Black Rage and the Red Thirst. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I wanted to make this video or redo this video because I wanted a refresher on the Blood Angels and their genetic flaws. I'm going to be doing a lot more Blood Angel lore in the near future, probably next weekend. Remember that Saturdays and Sundays are specifically Space Marine lore days. If you guys didn't check out yesterday's video was pretty cool. It's about the Imperial Fist and their Feast of Blades. So check that out on the channel. If you guys have any suggestions for other topics about Space Marines that you guys would like us to cover for next weekend, let me know in the comment section below. Thank you guys so much for listening, and if you guys want to support us on Patreon, the link is in the description. It's just $1 a month. Thank our patrons for allowing us to create these videos, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. This was Gersh1 with One Mind Syndicate signing out.
Oh, I used to put my freedom first, and then